Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We're just getting ready for the final of the LifeTime $30,000 PSA Chicago Open. But before we do, I have with me Natalie de Champlain, and she is the owner and driver of Kelly Loco Compression Wear. Natalie, great to have you here. What can you tell us about Kelly Loco?
Kelly Loco is the compression sportswear that a lot of players use for their muscle support. It helps you to stay warm and it prevents from injury. So it reduces soreness for sure. I have a lot of players that are really into the calf sleeves. They love calf sleeves while they play, and also the long pants when it's a bit colder during the winter. We launched a year ago and we've been very successful with squash players because I'm passionate about squash, so probably it comes with my passion as well. And I find that very few companies are interested to promote their brand with squash, the squash world. So I'm very proud to be one of those that are really into squash and helping squash players to feel better.
That's great. Well, of course, at the US Open last week, we saw El Tayeb wearing compression wear on her shoulders and arms, and I'm hoping it may be a new trend. You know, people need to protect their muscles, and I think you told me the other day also that not just keeping warm, but there are certain versions that are cooling as well.
Yes, we're working on cooling arm sleeves, for instance, because when you are really heated by your sport, your cardio goes up, and it's really important to feel cooled. So I'm working on fabrics that will help that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, tell us the website that people should go to find out about Kelly Loco.
We're available online, of course, at kellyloco.com. It's very easy to find.
How do you spell that?
Caliloko. Kelly like California, and Loco like the craziness, the passion that you portray in your sport.
But with a K.
With a K.
Yeah.
It's original, that's why.
Okay. Well, Natalie, thanks so much for coming along.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. We're getting ready now for the not only the final, but we're going to have the national anthem sung very shortly. So we're going to enjoy this match, but good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming along. So, ladies and gentlemen, a rousing start to the final of the PSA Lifetime Grand Prix Chicago Open. Wonderful, rousing rendition of the national anthem. Promoter of the tournament, Andre Maurer, speaking right now. So our referee, ladies and gentlemen, will be tournament promoter Andre Maurer, who has actually done a great job. Or at least I thought it was going to be. It looks like there may have been a last-minute change. But let's talk a little bit about these two players. Campbell Grayson, seeded 3, has come through the tournament with some tremendous games. He had a fairly comfortable win against Mike McHugh from Canada. And then the next round, he ended up playing against Arturo Salazar. And these two players have had many, many tough battles. And in fact, the first game was 18-20. Grayson lost that, but he came through to win in the end, 3-2, 59 minutes. And then in the semi-final yesterday, another great match against Shah Jahan Khan, sorry to mispronounce, and that was a 68-minute affair. And again, tremendous tactical play from Campbell Grayson. He really solved the conundrum of how to deal with Shah Jahan's speed and his hitting precision and early power. So conversely, in the bottom half, Adrian Waller has really not been taxed at all. He won 11-5, 11-6, 11-3 in the first round against the notable Finn Henrik Mustonen. Perhaps the most difficult game that he had, I think, was against Chris Hansen in the second round, which was actually, I see the score on Squash site is not quite correct here. It was actually 11-8, 13-11, and I think the last game was maybe 11-6 or 7. But US champion Chris Hansen was the only person that really gave him any trouble at all, tying him up in the back corner. They're both lefties. And then against Vikram Malhotra, who had had a wonderful win against Rui Soares from Portugal, he really made plain sailing of it, I'm afraid. If you're a Malhotra fan, 11-3, 11-5, 11-5 in 30 minutes, 39 minutes. So on the face of it, we've got the number 2 seed who as you may know, is currently ranked 24 in the world and has been as high as 21. He's 29 years old, and has this reputation for very, very long matches, including a 157-minute match with Sean D'Elia some years ago, but has not been taxed against Campbell Grayson, who is a wonderful world-class journeyman squash player who has made a habit of winning tournaments 5 sets almost every round. But can he, at the age of, I guess he is now 32, 33, I beg your pardon, having been ranked 35 at his highest and having done all this work, can he come up with a way of once again designing a game strategy and tactic to deal with this amazing, powerful Englishman? Remains to be seen. I think I would advise you, if you're looking for indicators, to have a look at Campbell Grayson's amazing ability to play the medium pace ball that gives him enough time to get into position. His coach, Nick Taylor, particularly good at that, and I'm sure that that skill has been passed on. And he's got this wonderful forehand and backhand wrist. I really enjoy the way that he suddenly uses his wrist with slice to create severe angles across the court. Conversely, Adrian Waller, the lefty, he has this amazing wrist on his backhand side where he makes it look as though the ball's going to go straight, and then he suddenly reaches 6 inches back behind the ball to create an angle and flicks it across the court. Weaknesses? Well, both players are big men, and they both have some troubles when they're worked to the front of the court with a working boast. They've both come up with strategies as to how to get out of that trouble, but if either one of them manages to work each other to the back of the court for a period of time, and then put in the working boast, and then follow up quickly with severe wrenching actions, the bigger framed men do get into trouble. The other thing to look out for, we have occasionally seen Grayson playing short too early in kind of a desire to try and get there, win the point too early. And when he's gone long, he's done very well. As the players are coming back to start the match, I'd just like to mention how grateful we are to our sponsors, Walker Dunlop and the Hussein family, and the supporting sponsors, the Lidowitz Family Foundation and Victory Park. Squash is not a big sport like golf and tennis, and when we get multi-year sponsors like this, it is such a boon to our sport, helps the game grow, helps the players survive. So many, many thanks to our sponsors, and equally thank you to LifeTime and to Andre and Danielle Mauer for their continued vision in driving the sport forwards and setting up these tournaments. So anyway, here we go for the final of the $30,000 PSA LifeTime Chicago Open.
The final of the Chicago Open
Adrian Waller on the right in the lighter blue shirt,
Adrian to serve,
the lefty
Campbell
serving,
to receive.
and
First
Campbell
game,
Grayson on the
level.
left to receive. An opening salvo, good length,
1-love.
followed by a nice drop volley. as you might expect, Waller himself is very good at that medium pace ball that takes his opponent to the back of the court and gives him time to get set on his balance for his opponent's next shot before his opponent hits it. And I mentioned, if you were watching yesterday, he has this very deft timing and touch with his short balls where he intimately understands the exact moment that contact is going to occur, and he has wonderful control of his balance and weight shift. So, little pop out there. And you could see maybe there Campbell Grayson just athletically struggling to reach for that ball. There might be still a little stiffness in his muscles from his hard earlier matches. So 2-love. Half length there from Waller that gave Grayson a chance to get into the back of the court. I'm certainly sensing in the early going here just a little tightness and lack of fluency in the reaching of Campbell Grayson.
Left side, 3-love.
No let given. Very good width, faded into the sidewall there by Waller. So at the moment, Waller is really extending Campbell Grayson's body.
4-love.
And obviously he understands that Grayson's done so much more work, and he's putting him to the sword on that basis.
Thank you.
Interesting there that Waller played the working post to move his opponent up the court, but he then followed up with a loose ball, and so we knew that Campbell Grayson had great volleying hands for his sojourn this week, and he demonstrated it once again. Couple of unforced errors.
2-4.
Or as Danielle Maurer would say, that's an Ethel Merman. Clang, clang, clang goes the trolley. Beautiful, lovely positioning once again from Grayson. We've noted the whole week how he gets himself low so his eye is really down to the level of the ball. And because he has such great perspective and he's low, his balance and control are superb. There's that little working post again. And a well-considered drop shot here. Little top spin side.
Left side.
Brought it into the wall, and he himself demonstrating really fine, precise timing. So a nice comeback here, aided by an error and some better rally construction. There's the floated ball to the back of the court, giving him time again. There's a pop out now. You know, look out for a few more of these pop outs because his legs are a little bit tired. Instead of getting there early and pushing off, he's sometimes reaching for the ball, and that doesn't allow for the movement.
Stroke away.
So definitely a loose ball there, and if he'd played the cross court into the left hand front
4-5.
nick, he would have hit him. So I do agree with that stroke decision. Again, Waller a little late clearing there. I hate the word clear because it makes it sound as though you're working for your opponent. But it's the same effect whether you move early into position for yourself or you clear.
Down.
There's another clang, clang, clang. Goes the trolley.
Right side, 5-all.
So good comeback here from Campbell Grayson. He's really settled down, and even though he's still struggling when he's made to really extend, he's really designed some great floated length to the back of the court that has ensnared his opponent in the back corner. That one not so tight, gave Waller the opportunity to attack. Yeah, there it is, the volley float again. Okay. I may be wrong, but I get the feeling that Waller hasn't yet fully engaged in this match, and I'm a little bit worried that there's a sleeping giant to come here. Oh, beautiful. Carved across the face of the front wall so that there's almost nothing to hit when you get there.
6-5.
By carving it across the front wall like that, the ball hardly comes back from the front wall at all, and the opponent has to really go a long way to pick it up. That's a carry, I think. You saw there Waller moving off as he hit it.
7-5.
So even if Campbell Grayson had got the ball back, he was salivating like a hungry predator, ready to jump on whatever came next. Such a big part of the sport is moving off the ball to be ready for the next shot and assuming that your opponent will always get every shot back and being ready to deal with it. Okay, interesting there.
Stroke
Not
away.
a good, yeah, not a good shot selection there. So
If he can get that back, it's got to be a stroke because you're right there.
So yeah,
Because
Campbell
he can reach that
unfortunately
ball
has
and you're
thought
right
too
in the
much
way.
about what he wanted to do to Adrian,
But
not
you
the
can't hit
consequence
into
to
a place
himself.
that you can't clear from.
And the referee
stroke,
explaining
Campbell.
that, and I agree with the referee entirely there.
It doesn't matter. You can't hit into a place if you can't clear from that place. You can't hit into there. Stroke away. Right side. 8-5.
Yeah, I fully support the referee's decision there. And it wasn't as if the ball was loose deeper in the middle of the court. It was quite a long way up. Let's see if that knocks Campbell Grayson out of his methodical game plan or whether he can get back to it. And Waller looking ominously dangerous here. Lovely snap to the forehand there. Beautiful shot there, nice cut. Now obviously it's overly simplistic, but I'm reminded of my friend Mark Allen's
Handout.
website,
6-8.
lobtohisbackhand.com. Now it's not going to be enough on its own, but certainly that is a strategy that seems to be working against Adrian Waller, if any strategy is. Really liking Waller's attentiveness today when he's in position waiting for his opponent to hit it. There we go, working that backhand deep, and I suspect that this is the key for Campbell Grayson if he is going to win this match. A few words for the referee here.
Right side.
for the
7-8.
sorry, from the players, for the photographer, who has a black shirt on, unfortunately. And with a black ball, it's a bit difficult. So still very tight here in this first game, 7-8. When Waller has extended
Down.
Grayson has struggled to balance, reach and control the ball.
Hand
But
out.
when Grayson
9-7.
has put Waller in the back corner and locked him up, then Grayson has done better. Two points of daylight for Adrian Waller. Very tight ball. Nice fade there from Waller. Once again, to explain what a fade is, it's when the ball starts off a little distance from the sidewall and the player strikes it so that it gradually goes closer and closer to the sidewall as it goes to the back of the court, such as that, making it very difficult for the opponent to choose the moment to intercept it and jamming them on the sidewall. There's a pop out which gave the opening. Didn't look like it was good. But once again, a great example of Waller's deft touch there.
10-7. Game ball. I thought it
So,
was good.
game ball to Adrian Waller in this first game of the Chicago Open. Brave battling from Campbell Grayson, but at the moment just unable to keep up with the superior movement and length and touch of his English opponent, Adrian Waller. Nice fade. Okay, it was a very nice working boast, but when Grayson went for that drop shot in the front backhand corner, Waller's forehand corner, he didn't really position very well. And he's on the wrong end of the rally because of that. Working his way back now. Yeah. And that was what
First
we
game,
saw when he got into
11-7.
trouble earlier in the week. You know, when he does take the ball in short from behind his opponent, that's the time that Campbell Grayson gets into trouble. When he waits for his opponent to go short first and he can capitalise on it, then he does really, really well. But even so, very nice opening game. You know, both players trying to conduct their strategy and having some success with it. But as I mentioned at the beginning, little concern for Campbell Grayson and his fans that just how many miles he's run this week in this tournament have left his body just not flowing as well as it might, and every time he gets fully extended he really is struggling both to control the ball and retain his balance. The occasions he has taken Waller to the back of the court, yeah, he gets success on that backhand side in particular, but it just wasn't quite enough times. So second game coming up, and you know, excited to see who can hold on to their strategy. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.
Fifteen seconds.
Got a good crowd in this evening, this afternoon, and I notice in the crowd on the far right there, world champion, world over 80 champion, and British Open over 80 champion Michael Goff. Lovely to see him up from Atlanta coming to support the tournament.
Time.
All of us should be so lucky to be training and playing
set to 130, but we were doing
as well as he is at his age. So second game. I wouldn't say that Waller was entirely in the driver's seat, but he certainly comprehensively finished that game with maturity and great organisation.
Adrian leads by 1 game to love. Lovell.
So let's see whether Campbell Grayson can get this ball into Adrian Waller's backhand back corner. I think he's a bit fortunate to get let there. But there you go. Or whether it's going to be Adrian Waller once again maintaining this consistency to the back of the court, followed by twisting, turning balls to expose the pain that undoubtedly is living still in Campbell Grayson's body. Hopefully the second game will see us, or see Campbell loosened up a little bit. Exemplary by Waller there, getting down really low for a big man. It's great to see. There's the cross-court float, and that does give trouble. And you saw that the length wasn't as good out of that back corner. Oh, that's going to be a stroke.
Stroke away.
Now, Adrian's saying that he could
Hand
go
out,
around the
one
front,
love.
which is true, but also Adrian hit the drop shot, and then he started moving, which means he's delayed, and there's always going to be conflict in this situation. If he'd gotten there a little earlier and started leaving as he'd hit the drop shot, there wouldn't have been a body to run into. Again, the subtleties of timing in this sport, so difficult to read.
Yes, next time I'd prefer you to try and go though. You've got time to
there's
go,
another
to go
example
back again.
of subtleties of movement off and movement in. Adrian Waller was saying he just backed into me, and he's right. He backed into him because he hit first and moved second. If he'd moved first and hit second, Waller would have had to have gone for the ball. All great sport is about the leading players getting into the future, getting ahead of the play.
Hand out, 1-1.
Wayne Gretzky said, don't go to where the puck is, go to where the puck is going to be. And sometimes we get so caught up with what we're doing, we stop thinking about where we want to go. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Slightly overhit that length, and it gave width to
2-1.
cut across there. Beautiful use of.
It's a stroke away.
So
3-1.
on
Right
that
side.
previous shot, Campbell Grayson hit a very nice shot down the wall, and Adrian Waller just fed off that and returned it with deft, dying length that really created a problem and got a stroke out of it. Oh, clang, clang. Unforced error is
4-1.
not going to be Campbell Grayson's friend at this point. He has to really get back to his game plan. And Waller really looking athletic and powerful. Pretty confident.
Stroke away.
Yeah, and you can see why this is a stroke away, because there's no
Problem
way
is, once
Waller
he
can
swings, he hits
make an
you.
attempt at hitting the ball. Waller
I
has
see it that
definitely
once he
had
swings, he
to
hits
stop in order
5-1. Right side.
to be able to not hit his opponent. So if you prevent your opponent from making any fair attempt at the ball, you know, it's against the rules. Stroke away. So really nice early intercepts here from Adrian Waller, keeping the pressure on Campbell Grayson. But there's the backhand corner again. And once again, we see that by working Waller into the back corner, getting a loose ball return, there's an opportunity there. But can Campbell Grayson do it consistently enough? Or is he going to be on the wrong end of this really competent barrage of placed length and early intercepts from Adrian Waller? Yeah, very tough, very tough.
Handout 6-2.
Really great all-round competence from Adrian Waller. Nice cross-court float from Waller. And there's the unforced error. It is much more difficult to control the ball above your head. And so you can
7-2.
Pepper an opponent with high balls when they're tired, and you will get the occasional unforced error. You can see the game plan he's trying to work, and it is effective if he can execute it. What tremendous reach. Great snap. And again, deft touch. Fingers. I sometimes tell the story of my grandmother's teacups, bone china teacups, very delicate. He plays those drop shots like you would put my grandmother's teacup back on the saucer so as not to break it. Beautiful width and length from Campbell Grayson. It's late in the day, but he's not given up.
Handout 3-8.
Nice movement off the ball there from Waller. Little pop out. A pop out again under pressure. Yes, I understand that. You can understand the frustration. He's doing his absolute best to operate this game plan. But it's one of the natures of the game of squash that sometimes one half of the draw just does a hell of a lot more work. And as it is, Adrian Waller is a superior player in terms of ranking and as we can see in actual practicality. So he's not somebody you want to give a head start to.
10-3, game ball.
Game ball, 10-3 for a 2-love lead here in the final of the Chicago Open. Beautiful width. Oh, there's that delicate touch again. But again, good into the backhand back corner. And you can see that's definitely money. Unforced error.
Handout.
A rare moment of
4-10.
loss of concentration for Adrian Waller in this match. Straight back to that backhand back corner for Campbell Grayson. Didn't manage to maintain it for long enough though, unfortunately.
11-4, 2 games to love.
So there again, that beautiful backhand snap from Adrian Waller, and what a consummate professional he is. As I said, he didn't need a head start, He's already a fantastic player, and unfortunately for Campbell Grayson, you know, the strategy that he's using, which I believe is the right strategy, just can't quite be enacted with the physical condition that he's in. So two love, Adrian Waller, and really well done. Very few losses of concentration by him, and it's looking pretty ominous for the Campbell Grayson fans. Back with the third game shortly.
No, not always, but he's retired. So the England #1 at the moment is Declan James.
So as I mentioned earlier in the week,
somewhere around
Adrian Waller is
12,
coached by my old friend Paul Carter, England coach, and
15
also Ruiz
seconds.
Suarez is coached by Paul Carter. So we've got Team Carter here working on,
Simon Rosner.
you know, collecting this Chicago Open Championships, and I've just seen them in collusion, having their
Miguel Angel Rodriguez. Time.
between game chat. I'm not sure who's helping Campbell Grayson, but we do need a lot of help at this point because Waller is looking very, very strong.
Yeah. Yes, he's very good. Adrian leads by 2 games to love.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what we want to see is
Lovell.
less clang, 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 and more teacups. Certainly both these players are extremely deft, and I'm sure that anybody who's in the Boston area, if you can get and spend some time with Campbell Grayson, it will benefit you enormously. But right now, let's engage in trying to come back from love 2 down here. Meanwhile, Adrian Waller foot on the gas, and I don't see him letting it off at all. Yep. All business, all quality, and a little dominant there. Beautifully set up volley, but again, short too early, and Waller is all over it like a rash. You saw again his deft touch on this drop shot there. I mean, it's just delicately feathered in with his fingers.
Down.
Oh, unfortunate, unforced error. Yeah, it's
3 love.
It's hard, you know, digging deep, but I'm afraid a little bit out of gas and out of options here.
Yes, that. 3 love. It's a love.
Fat lady hasn't sung yet, but she's sure warming up.
Left side. 3 love. Yes, left.
Beautifully set up. Ooh, there's a pop out. He's rescued himself. Slightly higher tempo now. I think Campbell Grayson's decided that he's going to, if he's going to go down, he's going to make every effort while it's happening. And maybe the change up in momentum he feels is going to get some mistakes out of Waller, but unfortunately,
Right side.
you know, with his physical situation after playing such hard matches,
For love.
intensity I can only believe is going to favour the fitter, stronger, younger man. Beautiful width, beautiful width. Well, there we go. He did get a result out of his attack. Surprisingly, you can see the body language of Adrian Waller after that. Pretty disconsolate about that. I think he'll be considering that to be an uncharacteristic slip. And, you know, let's hope for his sake that he's not seeing the finishing line too early and start being slack with his approach. You know, a player like Campbell Grayson never ever gives up, and he's not going to give it to you. So if Waller wants this, he has to take it.
Yes, left. Close. 1-4, left side.
So again, a little traffic issue, you know, between Waller recovering late from the back corner and Campbell Grayson moving slightly late off of his ball. You've got equal responsibility there, and let's a justifiable result. Beautiful wrist skill there. You see him run the racket face inside out there. Oh, that's got to be a stroke. That's got to be a stroke. I mean, he's played straight back to himself. Well, I have to agree with Campbell Grayson here that
I deem it as a winner.
you know, Adrian Waller has played into the space that he knows his opponent is going to have to run into, and completely blocked. So I think he's a little hard done by there.
But I think it's a winner.
If Campbell Grayson's racket had been up and he'd been pushing forwards, I think it would have been clearly a stroke. But because his racket is down and he's gone to the right in a genuine effort to try and get through to the ball, the appearance is that he's not ready to play. There we go, 5-1. Nice weight transference there, redirecting the ball. Good lift there. It's close to a stroke, and again, there's money. Adrian Waller's got himself out of it, and he's in the way again on the back end, but not quite. Oh.
Yes, there's some room to play there.
Well, I think Waller was maybe a little slow there to get the stroke, but I think Campbell Grayson's quite fortunate not to come away with a stroke there.
5-1.
Getting a little scrappy, you know, desperation to stay in the match, and a little bit of seeing the winning line too early, making Waller not as smooth and polished as he has been.
I know he's in the way, but I think it's a winner.
Well,
If you can
The
get
issue
if you
also
can get that back,
here
it's a stroke. But I
with
don't think you
Waller
can get
is
it back.
where is he put the ball? He's put the ball in
Hand
the
out,
middle of the
2-5.
court, so it's his fault that Campbell is there. However, I do think Campbell's shot was a little bit loose, but I would have advised Waller to run round him, not try and go through him. Beautiful
Time.
touch, beautiful touch. Look at this cut down
Hand
and
out,
into the
6-2.
side wall. Incisive, clinical setup and delivery. Now very open-chested there. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of traffic issues in the middle of the court.
Hand out.
So Campbell asking for a clean and Waller saying that it's fine. We know that Waller thinks that Campbell's tired. We know that Campbell would like to change the direction the match is going in. So I'm not saying it's all gamesmanship, but
Hand out, 3-6.
I'll leave you to judge for yourself. (6-3). Not beyond repair, but certainly very important next couple of points. It's very hard not to be focused on outcome and stay focused on performance, but you can see that Adrian Waller a little bit has got distracted thinking about outcome, and I can only think that if he just keeps focusing on his performance, that he will get the outcome that he wants. Beautiful, deft, slight closed racket face. But the reason that time was for the topspin. Lovely little use of the wrist there, but a guess coming. I think that's a pretty good indicator of where he is
8-3.
physically and resource-wise. So 8-3 now.
Stroke away.
So it's another stroke.
9-3.
9-3. Yeah. So 9-3. Really in the driving seat, Adrian Waller. And this is the last ditch for Campbell Grayson. Error there. So match ball.
Match ball.
Championship ball for the $30,000 Chicago Open to Adrian Waller. You can see in his eyes that absolute possession and predatory desire and fire. And there it is.
Game and match.
Fantastic
11-7, 11-4,
victory. 3-love to Adrian Waller. He really has been almost untroubled this week. Consummate professional. Really, demonstrative of every aspect of the game. Many congratulations. Congratulations also to Campbell Grayson, who really has acquitted himself marvellously well. Just a bridge too far today. And as I said before, if you have time to go and visit him in Boston at Infinitum, I'd advise you to do that. You can see what an amazing squash player he is, and I'm sure he's got a lot to offer his students and colleagues in the coming years. We haven't seen the last of him for sure, but many, many congratulations. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our coverage here at the Chicago Open. Hope you've enjoyed it, and look out for the future PSA tournaments from LifeTime, supported by Andre and Daniel Maurer, and also, of course, the upcoming PSA World Tour events on the calendar. You can go to psaworldtour.com and find out all those details. But for now, it's me, Richard Millman, signing off for myself and my director, Steve Lowe. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.